We like to first start with the host of this event, and that is the Chazak organization and Stories to Inspire. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for coming to listen to the words to inspire our holiday of Hanukkah. We like to start with a story that Chazal tell us in the Midrash, Bereshit Rabbah. The story was about at the time that when the Romans came to conquer and destroy Beit HaMikdash HaSheni. At that time, there was a man, says the Midrash, which his name was Yosef Meshita. And the story goes as follows. The Romans were scared to get into Beit HaMikdash because they knew Beit HaMikdash is such a holy place. Whoever tried to enter and do anything inside will get punished harshly. So they said, let the Jews themselves get in and enter and take out all these wonderful kelim, utensils of the Beit HaMikdash, like the shulchan, the aron, the menorah, the kruvim, which some of them were made of gold and some of them were coated with gold. So the Romans wanted all those utensils, but they were scared to get inside and bring them out. So as always, the technique is an old technique, that whenever you need to do something, you take the Jews to do it for you. Just like they did in the Holocaust, when they wanted to build or dig graves, they would take the Jews to do that for them. And therefore, over here, they announced and they said, who wants to come and take out the utensils of Beit HaMikdash and bring them out to us? And we'll reward the person that will go in by the fact that we'll give him the very first utensil he'll take out. There was one person that was not very religious, as the story goes. His name was Yosef Meshita, and he decided he'll go in, he'll take something, he'll make it big. Why not? There's things that are made out of gold. Let him take something. He went in, and he took nothing else than the menorah. The menorah was totally gold. It was miksha zahav. It was made out of total 100% gold. And therefore, when he comes out, the Romans look at it and they said, no, that you can't have. The words they said is, En darko shel etiot lishtamesh bazu. This is not something that a person should use. A person should use something else. That's not for a hediot. A regular person should be using such a fancy menorah. That's not correct. That's not right. That's what they said. And therefore, they said to him, go enter again and take something else. This you can't have. He refused. He said, no, no more. It's enough that I angered my God one time, the creator of the world. I angered him by the fact I took out the menorah. I'm not going inside again. I'm not doing that. So what did they do? They tried to convince him in different ways. Nothing worked. In the end, they stretched him on a piece of wood and they started sewing parts of his body, slowly, torturing him to death while he was screaming, Vaili sheichasti lebori, Vaili sheichasti lebori. Oy, that I made the Ribono shel Olam, the creator of the world, angry. That was not something I should have made. And he repented his bad actions that he did. He would not go again. Now the understanding in the Mefarshim is the following, that really in the beginning he wanted to go in to take something that's worth a lot as the gold. It was probably, since he was full of gold, probably the most precious thing. And when he came outside, he changed his mind. And there's different Mefarshim explaining how did and why did Yosef Meshita change his mind so quickly. In the beginning he was willing to go just for the sake of money and make a little bit money out of the action he'll do. And then when he goes outside, he's willing already to give up his life and he's willing to be tortured to death and not go in again. What have happened? What was the big change? Well, there's different Mefarshim say different things, but I wanted to say my own understanding over here. And that is, at the time of the Yevanim, it was known that the fight of the Yevanim and Am Yisrael was over the right way of religion. The Yevanim wanted to change the way the Jews had the tradition throughout the years. and throughout generations. And there were many people that they took with them. They were called Mityavnim. They're becoming Greeks with the Greeks ideas, Greek theologies and ideas that are new to Judaism. They're different. That is something that the Hashmonaim fought with all their might. That was the main theme of Hanukkah, fighting the new religion. And therefore, on the time of the Romans, I think that's what Yosef Mashita wanted to do. He wanted to take the menorah because the menorah represents in the light of Torah. Torah represented by the menorah, as the Mefarshim tell us. And it has to be a pure light. And Yosef Mashita took out the menorah, not because he wanted to make money, but rather he wanted to reform Judaism. He wanted to make a new way of understanding. And with that, he would take the menorah and relight it the way he wanted. It's a parable to what the Torah really comes to teach us, and that it has to be pure exactly the way we received it in Har Sinai throughout generations. Yosef Mashita changed that. But then it hit him and it struck him when the Romans told him that's not something that a idiot should be using, not something that a regular person should be using. In other words, he understood that the message is not an independent individual could change what the Torah was given to us. This that was given throughout generation in a Mesorah, in a very precise way of how HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us to keep the Torah and the mitzvot, could not be changed by a random person that decides to change it. And therefore, he would not go in again because he understands, it struck him that is the message that the Yevanim really, although they didn't mean it, but that it was their words. And he would not go again, and he was willing to sacrifice himself for the truth. And that's what the Greeks were fighting at the time of the Hashmonaim. They were fighting to change the Torah, the light of Torah, the shine of Torah, the truth of Torah, to change the way it's authentically given by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And just do it a little bit less. Do it with Tum'ah. Do it a little bit different. On that, the Hashmonaim fought with all their might. Torah has to be authentic, the way we received it. And that is the fight today as well. We have many sects in Judaism. We have reforms, and we have those that are conservatives. Each one tries to change a little bit. In America, it's a big sickness in many, many cities. In Israel, now they're trying to change the way Judaism works and was given to us and is conducted in so many different ways. In the Kollel now, there's a very strong fight to change how the Kollel was always conducted, that men should be on one side, ladies on the other side, it should be holy. Now they're trying to make it more reform. This fight of Hanukkah lasts until today. And we need to know that this menorah that Yosef Mashita took in order to change the Torah should be the message to us when we light the Nerot Hanukkah, that person should just not make the action, that it should be exterior without feeling it and bringing it into the heart, making it interior, inside us, that we should understand that what? That when you light the menorah is in order to keep the Torah pure, keep the mitzvot the way they were given to us, not change. That is the message of this story, and that is the message of the menorah and the lights that light so purely and so beautifully on Hanukkah.